Podcast number 10.
Number 10, Dici. You know what? I love Latin. And you know the word decimate?
To destroy?
Yeah, that's what it's commonly, people think that's what that commonly means, but they're mistaken, that it's to destroy something. Actually, it means to destroy just 1/10. And this comes from the Roman army. When the Roman army did not perform well,
Yeah.
and the generals are really pissed, they ordered a decimation. That means the legions would line up, or a century, which is like a company of men, and they would beat up and kill 1/10 of their number. Their own soldiers turned on each other to kill them as a self-punishment to do better.
Oh my God.
I'm glad it wasn't like that when you and I were in the service, man.
Right. That's not a morale builder.
Oh man, it wasn't a morale builder, but it was a motivation builder. Let me tell
That's
you.
right.
That's an away,
Yeah.
Motivation. You don't
Yeah.
want to get beat up and killed by your own men, your own
Yeah.
comrades.
I better perform better.
Yeah.
And it almost reminds me of that phrase, yeah, I'll give you something to cry about. So you better get going.
That's one of my favorites. So
yeah.
that's the accurate definition of decimation. But we're not decimating anything except your bad habits.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, Tommy just gave the rattle. Viewers and listeners and lovely subscribers, Tommy and I have started a new exercise from our last podcast.
Let me close the door.
Close the door there in the Boston household, and I just made a parasitic noise, which is what I was about to talk about. In the past,
Had a little background noise there, folks. Sorry.
Thank you, Tommy. In the past, I had a parasitic noise, which is which is something that is pretty commonly made by people when they're thinking of the next thing to say. They make sound. I don't like it about it myself. It embarrasses me. So I asked Tommy to be my partner, and when I make that sound, he will make a rattle as to make me aware of this sound, which I want to eliminate. And we do that by being mindful. But of course, it's very difficult to be mindful with things that are very ingrained in us. So I've enlisted Tommy to help me rid myself of this sound parasite, is what I call it, which is this sound, when I'm thinking of the next thing to say. And it's a controversial way to change, but hey, I don't shy away from controversy. Likewise, Tommy has put himself on the block with me. Tommy, want to talk about the parasite that you're getting rid of with my aid?
Absolutely. I am striving to rid myself of unwanted motion. For years in school and wherever else I may have been forced to sit, I was a leg tapper. I was a constant mover. So now I am focusing on stillness and focus itself. So
when I see Tommy move habitually, mindlessly, if you will, then I will ring the bell.
Yes.
Tommy will become aware of his own movements so that he can change it. So it's just a way that we're helping each other become more mindful of ourselves. So
right. And this isn't just for like a nose scratch or anything. This is if you see me doing this, that, this,
what if I see you sticking your finger in your nose or your hands down your pants? What do I do?
My what? My hands in my pants?
Nothing. Let's move on.
Okay.
Hey, by the way, some news guy from CNN or something got caught masturbating on a Zoom call recently, that tells you the kind of problems that guy's got. Let's make sure that doesn't happen on this Zoom, okay? So any urges you or me, that if we have it, we're going to save it for after the Zoom, all right? Otherwise, we'll be like...
Absolutely. Yeah. That's a true story?
That's a true story that just came out a few days ago. There's one of them.
Oh my God.
It's like one of the most humiliating stories of the year. Okay, so enough of that. So
Yeah.
that's an exercise that we will demonstrate with you as our witness, so you get to see that in process. And I don't mind that we make ourselves vulnerable that way. As a matter of fact, I think that's great. We really show you how sincere we are by doing that. Okay, let's move on to our first point.
Sure.
Now, we'll be getting some really great feedback coming in. And I appreciate all feedback, negative or positive. And here's some negative feedback that I've gotten. And it's not negative necessarily. It's just negative from the outset. Now, a couple of Christians, and listen, when I'm talking about these Christians, I'm not coming down on Christianity. Hell, I am a Christian. So I'm not going to come down on Christianity. I am a Christian, though I am an unconventional Christian. Most Christians would probably say I'm not a Christian. That's fine. They can have any opinion they want. But some Christians have given me the feedback that they don't want to listen to my podcast, or they had some criticism about it, because that it claims, because of the title, which is One Truth, and that they already have the truth, which is Jesus Christ. And that is a gross misunderstanding of what we're about. Personally, my explanation here is not anti-Christian, it's anti-close-mindedness. I'm totally not against Christianity in any way. I'm totally against closed-mindedness. So what do I mean by one truth, especially as it pertains to religion and Jesus Christ? Firstly, you got to understand about religions. You know, and Christianity is probably the most important religion of them all. And I don't mean to downgrade the other two great monotheistic religions, Islam and Judaism. Indeed, Christianity sprang from Judaism, and like 400 years later, Muhammad started preaching Mohammedanism, which became Islam. But Christianity differentiates itself from those other two big religions because its focus is on love and forgiveness. The other two don't do it nearly as much. That's awesome. That is the way to be, right? I could use more loving for myself and forgiveness for myself, and therefore the outer world. So it's a wonderful thing. That's great, but it's still just another religion. And there are hundreds, indeed thousands of religions. Indeed, everything, and what are these religions? They're just belief systems. That's all they are. Okay, all of them, every single one of them. The way you, my friend, or my enemy, listening now, with you think about me, this, that, the other thing, all of it, those are all nothing but your own beliefs. And every belief is a construct. They're all constructed. The truth has nothing to do with our beliefs, nothing. Some beliefs we have may be true. Some beliefs we have are definitely not true. Right? Probably most. Indeed, most of the beliefs that govern us, the ones that are most powerful in controlling us, if you will, we're not even aware of. We are oblivious to them. We don't even think about them. They're in our subconscious. They're all beliefs, all of them, that we started accruing from day one, practically. So when we talk about one truth, first of all, as much as I love Jesus Christ, and I have two prime teachers, and Tommy knows who they are. The two JCs, Jesus Christ, and who's the other one, Tommy?
Julius Caesar.
I happen to have his bust right here.
There he is.
There's my man. There's my man, Julius.
Hello, Emperor.
I hope you don't mind, Julius. We are very close. And Julius Caesar and I love Jesus for his incredible wisdom and virtue and love and forgiveness. I love Julius Caesar for his audacity and his strategic brilliance. And his courage.
See you later, Julius.
See you later. He's over here watching me. I consider him my supervisor.
Yeah,
So Jesus is awesome. And do I believe Jesus is the Son of... Thank you. Do I believe Jesus is the Son of God? Irrelevant. Irrelevant what I believe, if he is or not. That's a whole other thing we can talk about, which is not the point here. The point is that these two great, well, let's just talk about
10
this.
minutes.
What's that?
10 minutes.
10 minutes in. We like to go
We're
about
at
35
10.
minutes in our podcast. Is that Jesus Christ, as awesome as he was or is, he may have had a greater idea of the truth than you and I. Well, almost certainly he did. You know, the way I really look at him is he was a completely self-realized man.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't know the truth, because the truth is extremely difficult to see. And I contend that the best of us can only ever have glimpses of the truth when we are at our best. Effervescent
Right.
views, fleeting views, all right? Because we're so constrained by our human minds, which is totally operates through belief systems, again, which are all constructs. So when we talk about the one truth, we don't talk about us having any sort of idea what the truth is. We don't know what the truth is. We are limited by our own perceptions of the truth. Tommy and I are, just as the Christians are, and the Muslims, and the Scientologists, and whomever, the atheists, whomever. None of these people know the truth because of some sect or group they're in. That is just ego BS.
Yeah.
That's all that is. Matter
Right.
of fact, Tommy, what's one of my favorite sayings? By Baclav.
You've got so many. No. You run like hell from someone that says that they know the truth.
Absolutely.
But you seek those who seek it.
He's paraphrasing it, but Vaclav, who was a poet then became a politician, he said, seek the company of those who pursue the truth and flee from those who have found it.
Right. Run like hell, I say.
Right. So someone who says they got the truth, run away. Run away. They don't have it. They got nothing but their own ego, and they want to control. Right? Now, this is not an attack on Christianity. This is just an attack on egos.
Right.
So the Christians don't have the truth. I don't have the truth. Tommy doesn't have the truth. We're just saying that there is a reality, and there's all of us who have a perception of reality, or a perception of the truth, because there is only one truth, and we all have just a perception of it. And this is how we deal with the world, you know, whether it be secularly, business, personal, religion, doesn't matter. So there is only one truth, and that is the truth that we're all participating in subjectively.
Absolutely. I love it. When it comes to one truth, right? It could be a Joseph Campbell quote. I'm not even sure, but I have a T-shirt. It's by a band called Senses Fail. They were a 2000s post-punk band, and on the back of the shirt there's a picture of Buddha, and it says, "There is only one truth. There is a voice in you." Now, that blew me away, that quote.
Beautiful.
Now, also, that could be argued, okay, that's your subjective truth. That's your opinion.
Exactly. That's what they're talking about. That's the truth.
Yeah.
You have a subjective voice.
Right. And it blew me away because it is, it's so true. That's true. Because,
that is true, that you have your voice. Absolutely. You have your voice.
Yeah.
Indeed, it's your job in life to bring that voice forth to the world. That is your
Honor
job.
that voice. Honor that voice.
Absolutely.
And when it comes to monotheistic religions and theistic religions, there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of fear that is, I guess you would say, insinuated or put upon you. And one of the reasons I love Buddhism is because they don't claim to know any truth. As a matter of fact,
how wise they are.
Yeah, it's it's considered a religion, but many consider it a practice.
Let me point out
And
something about the truth in Christianity. And again, I'm not anti-Christian at all. If Jesus Christ is the truth, or Christianity was the truth, what about all the people that were around pre-Jesus? What did God really, so marginalize them? I'm going to create man, and for 10,000 years, you're going to live in lies and fiction and darkness and evil until I send Jesus, and in the year 30 AD, he'll start preaching his ministry for 3 years and then be crucified. Oh yeah? Does that sound like a loving and forgiving God? That sounds like a sadistic God. God to me is sadism is a human quality, not a God's quality. Maybe your God's sadistic, but not mine.
I've heard some Christians say that those actual people you speak of go to hell. They've went to hell because the Messiah hadn't come yet. And I was like,
well,
what?
no, that's in order for them to keep that belief, they have to say, say absurd things like that. Okay.
Yeah. As well as unbaptized babies, or unbaptized babies going to hell.
And here about religion is, and I love how we are totally, they say that don't talk about politics and religion in order to make friends. And here we are talking about religion. We'll avoid the politics, but we're talking about religion because this show, by the way, this show is not a religious show. It's a philosophical show. I mean, we talk about a number of things, but it's a philosophical show. And that, what about all these other religions? Are all those people, these Christians say that they're the ones going to heaven because they got the right religion? Yeah, every religion claims that. So which one is the right one? Oh, yeah, I know. The one you got, the one you're in.
Right.
Think if that's not proof of the ego, what is? You're always so right. You're always so right. How about that you're wrong? How about that I'm wrong and you're wrong? He's strong, she's wrong. Right? Imagine that. Right? And what's more in religion, and here's my hit on religion. I contend that in religion, and I again, I'll say it hopefully the final time in this podcast, I am a Christian, but I disapprove of organized religion. I don't say disapprove, that's not accurate. I dislike organized religion, while I totally support everyone's right to be in it. In that, when you embrace religious beliefs, then you must, and really believe them, right? Which you should, right? Unless you're just, doing lip service, then you must have a secret resentment for everyone else who believes otherwise. I think the Christians are just more honest about it.
Yeah.
Right. Because I mean, if I believe in, in my Raelian cult, which is one of my favorite cults. I study cults. I'm fascinated by cults. I'm a student of psychology and beliefs in cults. Raelians are one of my favorite. That's the French UFO sex cult. They're awesome. And if I believe in my Raelian beliefs, and I really believe in that, then I must secretly believe that your religious beliefs are all stupid, or if not that, misguided. Whatever, you're wrong. You got the wrong ones. I got the right ones. Don't you know? Why don't you come over to my right beliefs? You can abandon your wrong beliefs.
Yeah.
So
wake up with me.
So I'm not saying, I'm not challenging your religious beliefs, okay? But I am challenging your closed mind, all right? And that is, and that part and parcel with that is to be tolerant of others. If you can't be tolerant, if you are not tolerant of others and their beliefs, it's very telling about either your own closed mind or your own insecurities, but certainly your ego, all right? If you really believed in what you believed, you would let others believe what they believe, and you wouldn't be threatened the slightest. You wouldn't be threatened in any way. Which leads, you got anything? I want to move on, but unless you got something more to add on that, Tommy.
I'll just say that the agnostics and Buddhists are probably, I think, the most honest, because they claim, I don't know. How can I claim to know for fact when I have no idea? These faith-based religions, I mean, more power to them for having faith, but you know, I believe science is the modern religion now. Science is the new religion, and
Well, for me, yes.
but yeah, but if I don't know something and I don't have facts, I have to say, you know what? I don't believe. 20 minutes right there.
You know, yeah, and there are people called New Agers, right? You know, that's been around, a term been around a long time. I always used to make fun of New Agers up until the point when I realized I was one of them.
Yeah.
Right, but that's just because I'm very open-minded and I'm a seeker. However, I'm still a Christian. But a lot of these New Agers, especially the quartz type, I love quartzes, but I just don't really believe
Oh,
in
the
them.
crystals?
I believe that you are the master of your destiny. You're the captain of your ship, you know, and not the stars, not some quartz or anything else. You're the one who makes it happen. You and no one else. Anyway,
Yeah.
a lot of them would say, "Oh, this is my truth." Again, this is we contend there is no truth. I mean, there is a truth. There's one truth, and you don't have it. You've got your perception. You've got your voice, as Tommy said. You've got your own dreams and your own intimacies and secrets. Absolutely, it's not the truth. Okay.
Yeah.
And that is not to say that you're stupid or emotionally ill or otherwise. That's just to say that the truth has a real meaning, and that is a unalterable fact. Okay.
Yeah.
Your emotional life, your ideas and beliefs, which are fluid, ain't it. Those are not facts. Fluid, they change sometimes by minute or by mood or whatever, or memory or forgetting whatever. So you don't know what the truth is. Well, or you can have glimpses of it. You can pursue it.
Yeah.
But if you find it, we question it.
Yeah. I'm sure there are things out there that we can't see and I don't know. Like I believe in electricity. I can't see it, you know, and it's just that once I see it and I can with my own eyes and I can say, okay, that exists. I believe in that. Until then, I'm not going to act like I know, and I'm not going to act like I believe, which I think many people do, just for conformity or to fit in or for customs and courtesies and tradition. And I broke away from that a long time ago because I couldn't honor myself. It didn't make sense to me to follow like a sheep, you know. I had to honor myself.
If you really believe in what you believe, then it's irrelevant of everyone else. You don't need, then you shouldn't need commiseration. You shouldn't need confirmation from others. And if you need those things, that really suggests that what you believe in is not built on a strong foundation. It's built on something else that's far more strong. All right. So for you to pretend otherwise is just a pretense. It's just a pretense. And now there's a catch-22. There's another side of this. And that can be good, but let your behavior should be your guide. And what I mean by that is if you're being intolerant of others, that should just give you pause, because it's good to coming back a step. It is very good to doubt yourself when it comes to wanting to put others down, okay, or having some intolerance of others. It is very, very good to doubt yourself, all right, because really you should tolerate others, and you should give others leeway and freedom to be themselves. Of course, if they're harming you or others, well, then they've definitely went too far, and then intervention is warranted. But life is paradox. Life is not easy. We have to consider things. We are complex creatures, right? And we all have all these constructs, aka beliefs, and so we have to deal with each other, right? All these beliefs banging into each other. But with tolerance, we can do that. And listen, if you don't want, if you should be absolutely free to pursue your religion, absolutely. However, the open, the open mind is one of the greatest things that you can have in your life is your own mind being open. And Judith Delosier said that your job in life, you have one job in life, and that is to keep the channels open. And what she meant by that is the things that lead to your mind. So for your mind to function with an openness and with a consideration of all possibilities. And those channels are your five senses, right? Your external senses and the internal representations. Those all lead to your mind. So don't shut them down. Don't blind yourself when there's some other thing going on. Consider it. That said, also more balance. Tommy and I have spoken about negative knowledge, right? But that's that's not necessarily information that's counter to your beliefs. That's just information or stories or whatever, information, call it information or data, that's going to have a detriment on your well-being.
Psyche, yeah.
On your psyche, right? That feeds the dark part of your psyche, the black wolf, if you will. You got the white wolf and the black wolf. You know, every person has these two wolves, and whichever one you feed becomes the stronger one. So it's best to feed the white wolf and not the black wolf. Continuing to use those terms, which I'm not crazy about. Great. So that's a great segue into our next point, or to get into politics. Now, the American presidential election is right around the corner. I think like 2 weeks from now. And there's a great divide in the politic, very heated, very divided. And just as I talked about the beliefs of religion, let's talk about the beliefs of politics. Now, I have a friend, and he was really coming down on one group of one party and the people and the presidential candidate that they support. He was very derogatory. You know, how can people support this guy? They're a bunch of jerks. You know, they must be idiots. And I'm sure the other side says the same thing, vice versa.
Yeah.
You know, but what I said to my friend was, you know, really what we're talking about is really the nature of beliefs, and it's all beliefs. I said to him, this guy was in the Army with me. He was one of my best friends from the Army. I said, Jeff, let me ask you a question. Do you have all the answers? Of course, Jeff said, no, because any person would plainly and readily admit that. He said, no. Then I asked him a second and final question. I said, Jeff, are you infallible? And of course, again, he said no, because Jeff, like everyone else, knows that we are fallible. We're grossly imperfect as humans. So he agreed, or he readily admitted, that he neither had all the answers, nor was he infallible. And so then I said to him, well, allow others to be as fallible and as unknowledgeable as you are. Right? So he admitted that he was fallible and he didn't have all the answers, but yet he's coming down on people for having the quote unquote wrong knowledge, you know, about a political position and a political candidate, and for having whatever position they took or their ideas about it. He admitted that he's the very thing. How could you come down on those people when they're just like you?
Right.
Maybe if they were infallible, and maybe if they had all the knowledge, they could come down on you rightfully, because Jeff, you just admitted that you got deficiencies. But the truth is that we all got these deficiencies, but they're really not even deficiencies. And what are they? They all are just our own perceptions.
Yeah, opinions
and beliefs. There's no truth about the politics. There's no one truth about it. Here's the truth: is that we have politics. That's the truth. Everything else is opinions and beliefs and perceptions. So that said, what's best for you and everyone around you, indeed the country, is to allow others to have their political beliefs. Allow them.
Yeah.
Allow
Give them the room.
Yes, allow them to be as human as you are. You know, a lot of times a person says, "Oh, I don't know how a person could be like that," or whatever. And I'm a student of the mind. I study psychology all the time, and I'm an unusual sort of person, and it's very easy to understand others. Quite frankly, people being very, even though I'm odd and nonconformist. Oh, it's talking about conformity. In politics, people say, "Oh, this is what I believe politically." Yeah, well, if your beliefs politically are the same as those around you, how did you come to those beliefs? I suggest that that's a conformity that you're subscribing to, and not necessarily.
Half hour there.
We're at 30 minutes. We're going to be going into our corner soon. It's you just conforming. If you really want to challenge this and say, "Oh no, I'm not conforming. I really believe in this because it's so right and I'm so smart," why don't you, just as an exercise, say to your friends on your social media, "I believe the other thing. I believe the other position." Just as an exercise. If you love Trump, say on your social media, "I love Biden," and vice versa.
Yeah.
Vice versa. Just as an exercise, right? Right. Not to see what they'll say, because that'd be valuable too, but just to see if you can do it. If you can,
Yeah.
I'll bet that you cannot do it.
Oh.
Is it because that you're such a chicken? Well, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that. I will say is because you're conformist. Now, is that an indictment on you? No, it's pretty common in the human race. All right. What I am pointing out is that you are conforming to those around you. And if you had the courage to challenge that conformity, you would make you would make counter statements just to look into your own psychology, have that self-examination, have that wherewithal about yourself, how your opinions have been made for you and you haven't made them yourself.
Right. And break that strong identity you have with that position. And ask yourself, why am I so passionate about this? What is it about all of this that's bringing such a strong reaction out of me?
Absolutely. We got to remember is that we are one nation. It's best for us to have our differences and to accept everyone different as they are, as individuals and as the collective political parties. Accept them. That's all. There's no need to have resentment and animosity and loss of civility, especially not violence. There's no need for that. That's all base shit done by ego-driven people who are very low developmentally, very low. All right.
Yeah.
Yes, if someone's going to be violent, then typically
defend yourself.
You got to meet them with violence, but don't be the one to initiate violence.
Right.
So, okay. So enough of that.
That's my dog.
Since I was going to have another thing we're going to talk about, which is about goals and deadlines, but now that we're already at 30 minutes, let's go into our corners. We have continuing corners, so let's omit that and we'll go right to Tommy's corner. And Tommy.
Okay. I am reading from the ancient text of the Tao Te Ching, written by Lao Tzu, some 2,500 years ago. And today we are on passage 10. Should I do it as we were, read it in its entirety, and then disassemble? Or you want to try something different?
Let's try something different. That's a good suggestion. Why don't we read it and stop at each point and disassemble as we progress?
I like that. Okay. So here we go. In keeping the spirit and the vital soul together, are you able to maintain their perfect harmony?
Is that what in the soul? The body and the soul?
In keeping the spirit and the vital soul together.
So he is discerning the spirit and the soul. What is the distinction between the two? I thought they were the same.
I think the vital soul would be the individual, and the spirit is the great spirit, the one of which we all are a part of.
Okay,
we're part and parcel of.
The soul is the person or the thing, but
yes,
the greater part of the person.
Yeah.
Spirit is the greater whole, the greater collective.
Yes. Are we able to maintain perfect harmony with the great spirit?
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you. Excellent interpretation. I agree. That's the
Yeah.
challenge, right? To
Yeah.
keep the ego diminished enough that we know that we're all connected. We're all part of the same whole, the same one. And just what we were talking about previously, but we're talking about specifically about beliefs. Here we talk about the soul, the spirit, which is the greater stuff, right? That
Yeah.
many of us, or some of us, will contend that that's the real deal, not all this other stuff that's in the way.
Yeah. That's the one truth, is the Great Spirit, as the Native Americans called it.
And I concur with that, but we don't know that. We suspect that it is. We may
That's
believe it.
yeah.
We believe it
My
is.
subject.
But
Yeah.
here's something I concur with Tommy, my comrade here. However, I will also admit that I don't know. I don't know what it is.
I don't know either.
Okay. you see how our approach there? Continue.
In gathering your vital energy to attain suppleness, have you reached the state of a newborn babe?
Suppleness. What does suppleness means?
Means supple. When I hear supple, I think juicy, like
My phone. Okay, I'm sorry. Suppleness definition.
The definition of the word suppleness is the gracefulness of a person or animal that is flexible and supple. The word suppleness has two other
Okay, that I accept that. Gracefulness. Okay, so go on.
Okay. In gathering your vital energy to attain suppleness, have you reached the state of a newborn babe?
Wow. So it seems to me that what they're saying is to stay vital. Don't become rigid or decrepit. Stay rejuvenate yourself. Stay vital. Have vigor. Don't lose your wonder of life. Stay. Be in awe of life always.
Right. And have you reached the state of the newborn baby? You know what I mean? Like the pureness and the freshness.
Right, and it's a loop.
Yeah.
You were once a newborn baby, and obviously you're saying, have you reached it? So a continual loop.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Have you reached the state of what you were?
Right, with your vitality and your vital energy.
Oh, I love it. That's a maintenance from day one.
Oh, and here we go. In washing and clearing your inner vision, have you purified it of all dross? Dross, D-R-O-S-S.
Dross definition.
Dross means something regarded as worthless rubbish.
Okay. Worthless rubbish.
Have you? Yeah. In washing and clearing your inner vision, have you purified it of all dross?
Purified it of the worthless rubbish. I love that.
Yeah.
Think about all the crap, all the baggage we pick up, and the crap, meaningless stuff that's base, stuff that's worthless, stuff that is so really of so limited value or worse that we can all pick up, but in continuing with a constant or a continuous or at least a repetitive introspection, we can be rid of or be
filter that out
and choose, hey, listen, this is not something that served me, or if it's not that big a thing, say this is the weed. I'll tell you, I'm naturally negative. It took years and years of practice for me to be a positive person. I still have a negative tendency because I was that way for so long. And I tell you why I was negative, because my rationalization was, this way I won't be disappointed. It worked, but I didn't accomplish that much. Even though I actually did a lot of shit, but I would have done a lot better if I didn't have this self-fulfilling prophecy of shit not working out. Maybe if it worked out halfway, then it wouldn't work out past that. So, all right, move on.
Yeah. In loving your people and governing your state, are you able to dispense with cleverness?
Repeat it, please.
In loving your people and governing your state, are you able to dispense with cleverness.
Right. So taking care of the self and others without being coy, without being so smart, and so without having looking for this image, this public, this reputation, which is without which is insincere.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. And cleverness.
Right. You're not doing it for the right reasons. You're doing it for some for some public image, but instead of really wanting the best in these endeavors or these circumstances, that taking care of yourself and others, that the best is the best, but
right.
They're wanting just that. Okay, no, I got I'm being clever, and not just as an aside, some other ulterior motive or some other agenda, but
dispense with cleverness. Like to not be clever, but to be fair, honest, and open about your dealings with your people and yourself and the government. I think that's pretty much what I'm getting.
Sincerity is what I get. Well, not just, but yes.
Yeah. In the opening and shutting of heaven's gate, are you able to play the feminine part?
As we learned in our previous passages, the feminine part is the opening. So in the opening and shutting of heaven's gate, are you open to play the feminine part? So that's the opening. That's allowing ourselves entrance and others entrance by what? The invitation, by making it a fertile ground for such an entrance, right? Or to approach, as opposed to one there that's unapproachable, right? Because you've got roadblocks and obstacles, things that get in the way of the divine ascendancy, your own personal development, self-dev,
right?
The road to enlightenment. Are things in the way that you've put there, or are you making the approach, the entrance, more possible, more probable,
fluid? Yeah. And I've also learned from reading the Tao here is that the feminine, when it comes to creation, the feminine is really the alpha. I think feminine was first. Feminine gives birth to everything.
As a misogynist, I must say that you are wrong. Definitely.
Oh no, I saw you wearing that Meat Men shirt.
All right. One of my favorite bands, the Meat Men. But what came first, the vagina or the penis? Not the chicken or the egg, the vagina or the penis, the yin or the yang. We don't know. But
they say the feminine.
Sure. Perhaps you're right, but as we said, that you've got to have the entrance has to precede the kingdom, right? You've got to enter somehow. So you're probably right.
Yeah. Okay, so next is it's enlightened and seeing far into all directions. Can you at the same time remain detached and non-active?
Okay, enlightened and seeing far in all directions. Can you?
Yep. Can you at the same time remain detached and non-active?
Now, detachment is an awesome and wonderful thing. Detachment is something you want to do in pursuing all your goals. Because when you get too attached, or you're overly attached at least, you're too emotional about it, you get in your own way. You've got to basically, in what's best is planting a seed and letting it germinate and caring for it and nurturing for the plant as it grows naturally, if you will. So that's the one. It's the natural process, the growth, as opposed to, well, you'll grow plants, they're shaking up, grow.
Yeah.
I want fruit. See, there's a balance. Life, the balance is really the thing to be had in life. But what was the last part? Non-active. That part I don't get.
Detach and non-active.
Okay, yeah, non-active. Okay, yeah, that's it. Now I got it. It is to relax.
Let it be.
Let it be.
Yeah.
Let it be. You've done the work. Now stop. Have patience. Right? A patient person can have anything. An impatient person, nothing. So I don't answer doorbells during podcasts. Sorry.
Yeah. Is that your doorbell?
And if you can see us, we are out in the cosmos anyway. I'm not in a house.
Yeah. That's some
So, yes,
that's some deity.
you've got to relax. You've got to let things be, and you've got to be inactive. Right? Great.
And now the last part I can read without disassembling because you'll understand when I read it. It says, rear like rear,
Mhm.
rear your people, feed your people, rear them without claiming them for your own. Do your work without setting any store by it. Be a leader, not a butcher. This is called hidden virtue.
Okay, let's break that down. First of all, let's get the
Okay.
precise definition of rear. Rear definition.
As a noun, it means the back part of something, especially a building or vehicle. Do you want to hear the next one?
Yes.
As an adjective, it means at the back. Want to hear the next one?
Yes.
As a verb, it means bring up and care for a
Getting-
child.
Yep.
Until they are fully
That's it.
grown, especially in a particular manner or place.
Okay. Okay.
Like
Bring up and care.
rearing your children.
Okay. So bring up and care for. Continue. Repeat, please.
Yes. Rear your people. Feed your people. Rear them without claiming them for your own.
Right. So don't possess them. Don't say you owe me. Right.
Yeah.
Just do
Yeah.
the right thing. Right.
Yep.
Continue.
Be a leader, not a butcher.
Right. So wow. When there's infractions, there's criminality.
Yep.
Do it with love. Do it with leadership, rather than being so malicious or that,
Mm-hmm.
but having mercy, right? And
Yeah.
not being so eager to put someone's head on the chopping block.
Exactly. The guillotine, so to speak.
Hmm.
And then this is called hidden virtue.
Hidden virtue.
The end.
Right.
Yeah.
So I love that hidden virtue. Today, very often you see people who love nothing more than to espouse their so-called virtues.
Yeah.
Right.
Virtual signaling.
Right. Hidden virtues is where it's at, right? Where you do the good and you keep it quiet, you keep it to yourself. That's what true virtue is, right?
That's right.
You don't call attention to yourself for all the glory and the vanity that you're quite apparently seeking.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Excellent passage, Tommy. Great.
Yeah, that was a great one.
Totally. And now it's time to read a passage from Achieve Your Dreams. Put my hand in the box and pull out a passage. Nice picture of a paraglider on it. And it's from Benjamin Disraeli, who said, nurture your mind with great thoughts. It's, we don't even need to.
We talk about this a lot.
We don't even need to reiterate this, man. This is like the theme of our show. We just talked at length about it.
Yeah.
So put good stuff in, because then you have good stuff. Avoid putting bad stuff in, because then you won't have the bad stuff. It's the good stuff. We're like computer programs. Put in good programming, so that you operate well. If you put in bad programming, you're going to operate poorly.
Oh, yes. Be careful what you imprint in your psyche and your mind, because whether you know it or not, it's being downloaded. You're not going to forget it.
Absolutely. And if it threatens you, with real evil, or not just that, it's harmful,
Macabre.
to your well-being or others' well-being, okay. But if it's harmful, if it's threatening to beliefs you have, then question the beliefs that you've got. Maybe they need to go. Maybe they're not so true after all. Maybe they're not
serving you.
They're not so well constructed after all.
Mm.
Okay. One last time, the mind is like a garden, and the weeds will come in. So you must weed the negative thoughts, the negative information, negative stuff. We must take them out periodically, regularly, so that we can have a prosperous garden.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I have my tin here, and I will burn it into your psyche symbolically. right? Nurture your mind with great thoughts. Benjamin Disraeli said it. As I burn this paper,
Yes.
you can see the writing on the back. I wrote some other stuff on there years ago. Burn it into your mind. By the way, Tommy, I don't know if we dropped the ball on our getting rid of reminding each other about the parasites, but awesome podcast, whatever, nonetheless. I thought it was great.
Yeah, definitely.
And I will give us a rating. I will say, Tommy, you did a B plus, and I just did a C plus. But I'm gonna work.
We'll work at it. It's peripheral to the other. Being mindful, it's a tough thing.
And I want to
Yeah,
publicly
go ahead.
that Tommy, I love you, bro. You are the man.
I love you too.
Very heterosexually. That's
Yes.
a relationship, Tommy. Take it easy. Take it easy.
Take it easy. Before we go, I want to just thank all our viewers and our listeners, and please go to Buzzsprout, give us a review, subscribe, and I'd also like to give a shout out to my buddies over at the Camarilla Cafe. Some boys from Brooklyn that are producing some really good content. Check them out on YouTube, and from there you'll be redirected to their other socials and their sites. So
great job, Tommy. Thank you all for being here. Much love to everyone. Be well. Please click on the link and subscribe and share it if you think this is could be of benefit to anyone else, and that just could be entertaining. Thanks, guys. See you next time.